Hey everybody, how you doing? I hope you're well, and I believe it is a good time at this point to put this on. Yeah. Okay, so you know the news, and the news is about, quite simply that on Tuesday, which is no, excuse me, Wednesday. Today is Tuesday. On Wednesday, the Oakland A's are set to meet with the African American Sports Entertainment Group, directed at this point by Ray Bobbitt and Levant Ogbulie, and discuss what is reported to be, according to Mitch Akers of the Las Vegas Review-Journal, the A's desire to sell the land to AASEG. Okay, now you may have noted that my response to this was presented originally kind of a cartoon, right? Where I basically wrote that, hey, this is what I call the Faustian bargain. And you're probably wondering, okay, what does Faustian bargain mean? What am I referring to when I use the term Faustian bargain, right? Okay. What do I mean? Well, I'm simply saying this, all right? And why did I have this little double there, right? Little devil, little devil, little devil. Simply this. I'm not calling Ray the devil, but I am, by placement of the devil, saying that the devil is, doing voodoo with Ray's brain. Woo! Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm the devil and got the deal. I know you want to steal. Let's do it. He's not a hill. Come on, Ray. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that deal. All right. That's what the devil is saying. And Ray is like, yeah, I want it. 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 Okay. As Hopper says, unfortunately, sometimes you have to make a Faustian deal to get something done. And therein lay the problem and why it is a Faustian deal. Simply because the A's, you have to ask this question, okay? Why, after all this time, would the Athletics decide suddenly, oh yeah, we want to sell it to AASEG, when they've been rejecting them this time, that time, and the other time, right? Why now? What's going on? What's going on is simply this. The Athletics have decided, for reasons internal and external, to completely 100% exit Oakland. All right? Exit Oakland. As Vegas Mark says, it means the devil eventually will want to collect. Yes. And when the devil collects, it's often not in the favor of the person who was offered the Faustian bargain. In this instance, Mr. Bobbitt. Now, the reason the A's have decided now to do the deal is because of this. First of all, Oakland is widely considered to be down, low, blighted, you name it, in the dumps, losing businesses left and right. People are getting held up in everything. People want to stay indoors. Someone puts up a photo at Lake Merritt trying to counter that, but they say, hey, look at the birds. And the photo they put up has a few tiny people walking here and there, and that's about it. Thereby proving the point of the person that said, hey, you know what? People are staying in because they don't want to get robbed. This is all over the city. Oakland is in giant trouble, and it was just announced today that San Francisco, right across the bay, just like 150 different cities, will be losing their Macy's. Now, this is a big deal for a city like San Francisco. Macy's has been a center point of the creation of Union Square. But prior to that, when Nordstrom closed, to me, that was an equally bigger hit because of the advent of the shopping center, Westfield Shopping Center, which really helped to cause Union Square to grow and the retail activity in that area to pick up by a factor of fourfold from the days when, it was just Macy's and Saks Fifth Avenue. A major change, bringing a lot of ridership to BART, all right, which also suffers. So all of this is a collective down. Now, when the only activity that one has to offer is, well, we've got AI coming, it doesn't say much of anything. The picture is decline, and the AA is not coming over to Oakland either. Remember, Oakland did not use tax increment financing to cause any investment of any kind. It has been notoriously slow to do anything from a government perspective. It is focused on design and not economic development implementation. And we have the specter of sea level rise. And did you hear the latest information about the glaciers? If that big glacier happens to crack, that's another 10-foot rise in sea level. And boy, that'll take out 50% of East Oakland. Okay? Does Oakland have a plan to deal with that? Yeah, we have it. Has Oakland implemented it? No. Does that affect the value of the Coliseum land? You betcha. Why do you think I was pushing last fall for an enhanced infrastructure financing district ran by a public financing authority of the Coliseum JPA? Because that needs to be done, and we need to raise money to do it before we think about anything else. Hello? McFly, are you listening, City of Oakland? No. All of this comes into play. So the A's have said, you know what, blanket. You want it, you take it. Because we know it's going to happen, and we don't believe that you can solve the problem. Ray's like, we've got Loop Capital, and they've got $9.2 billion. Okay, but where's the stadium that Loop Capital developed? Who are you going to draw? Where's your development plan? It's not a matter of, going over the Philippines and getting somebody for cheap and making a pretty picture. It's a lot more than that. This is real implementation, and the Athletics are convinced that AASEG can't do it. And then there's the court situation. AASEG was formed by Ray Bobbitt, Brian Dixon, Karim Mohammed, and Lamont Ogbulie, all right? But Ray and Lamont plotted a deal, plotted an arrangement, a fraudulent one, allegedly. Well, it looks like it was to me, in my humble opinion, which I'm allowed to state. And now they're in court, and that starts April 2nd, okay? Now, is there a possibility that all of them can fuse together? Yes. But will they? Who knows? That's ultimately up to AASEG Land, ran by Ray Bobbitt, to do. All of this, all of AASEG's activities have been around community engagement, which has basically distilled into pitting one black person against the other. Nobody worth their development sense has the time to deal with that or wants to. And that's what a lot of folks don't understand. No one wants to deal with it. So the A's, if they saw the opportunity to hold on to this land because it was still growing in prospective value, they'd do it. Period. End of story. But the Athletics are done. Interest rates continue to rise, causing the Athletics to focus more on Las Vegas exclusively. There's only so much money to go around. And then with the private placement that they're trying to construct there, it calls for all of their time. The Athletics have determined that they're going to remake themselves and be there. And that's what's going on. And so they have no belief in Oakland. They have no belief in AASEG. They don't think they can get it done. And ultimately, what they believe will happen is that the entire land will be left available to somebody else to take over. Hey, Joe Lacob? Possibly. Okay, he already stepped in once and, sandbagged Ray Bobbitt and everybody else along with the help of WNBA in putting WNBA in San Francisco. Will he be content to build upon his Oakland-based firm and do something else on that land if it becomes available? Will the city make it available to him should he want it? Of course they would. Absolutely. All right? Would he be able to attract other partners? Yes. Completely. But the city has to make that land investable. And so part of what is also driving the Athletics is the constant belief the city of Oakland itself can't get the job done because the city of Oakland didn't move in a timely fashion for the Athletics. So, off. Let me get your comments here, all right? Says, Fisher is just doing a quick exit. Well, Oakland is a dump, but the big question is, can Oakland turn it around in a timely manner? Yep. The big problem, Hopper says, is the massive automation versus robotics and increasing computing power, which is likely to make 50% of jobs obsolete or transformed. That's an interesting discussion for another time. The only winner is likely to be the lawyers billing out at $500 per hour, or the media reporting on it. Assuming that no one wants to deal with it, then nothing will get done. And that's what the Athletics are banking on. If the Athletics had any faith in the city of Oakland, first of all, Howard Terminal would have been past the groundbreaking stage and well into its completion stage. All right? Not there. Okay? Not there. Oakland city government isn't likely to be able to do anything until the tower recall is settled. It's not about Shang, because this started with Libby. All right? It's about a strong mayor structure that puts the layperson too much in charge and puts the professional class in the background. The technocrats are being pushed out for the people who have no idea what's going on, but they know that they love to put their faces before the cameras of the white-owned media, and that regardless of what they look like. And that's another problem. So you can't say that you're really for development of small business if you're not going to be on the business of a black-owned organization or facilitate the development of black-owned media companies. Okay, and you're part of the government. That's rampant. So there's a lot of talking out of both sides of one's mouth in this, done by people who should know better, but are so mesmerized by their face on what they think is television, aside and along with that, the idea that other people are watching them there as opposed to the small screen, that it's become ridiculous. All right. So Hopper says Oakland city government isn't, okay. So the Chinese come in, this is Hopeless, and buy it up. Why the Chinese? Why the Chinese? Where is that coming from? That racism? Why does it? I mean, I said Joe Lacob is not Chinese. All right, Joe Lacob is not Chinese. I mean, where is this Chinese stuff coming from? This is ridiculous. That's racist stuff. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. No, it's got nothing to do with any of that. It is absolutely ridiculous and racist to think that, Chinese. What? I mean, this is completely ridiculous. No. There are developers out there. Get to know them. There are people. Joe Lacob is a team owner, all right? And no, I don't want to hear it, okay? I don't want to fucking hear it. So don't even push it or I'll wind up blocking you. I'm serious about that. That's idiotic stuff, okay? Okay, and race has everything to do with it because it's your assumption that is there. That's BS. And it's for people who don't know development. It's one more reason, Hopers presents, this is one more reason why you don't have people involved in running things, because of attitudes like this. The city had the same attitude, when we went back in 2015 and gave that E&A out to this organization where it was supposedly the Prince of Dubai was involved, because the city of Oakland was stupid enough to think that, because they're Mideastern, they have money, when in point of fact, it doesn't take money to build a stadium. No billionaire in the world worth their salt, having any ounce of intellect, has ever used their own money to build a stadium. You always use somebody else's money. You always engineer it so that the somebody else's money also comes from the visitors between 40,000 and 80 to 100,000 to see sports events that are going to cause that flow of money that becomes bondable for you then to get a nice chunk of cash up front to make the development and then get the payback because you've done the estimation of what the dollar flows will be and you added the appropriate discount rate to determine its solid behavior as a financing, and you went ahead. You don't just spend your own money. That's not the idea. Okay, so stop this putting it on, what certain people look like. It's stupid. It's stupid. And I'm not allowing stupidity here. You can get out of my channel. I don't care who doesn't watch my channel. I want smart people who are willing to think, watching my channel, who understand how development works, legislation, and everything else. We call them Zinsters. You don't want to be a Zinster? Get out. I mean it. Get out. I'm tired of racist people. Get out. Period. All right? Now back to my point. The simple fact of the matter is this. The city itself needs to put together a public financing the public financing organization, public financing authority by law, and that public financing authority will run the enhanced infrastructure financing district. That's the way the law works. The city, ever since I gave the presentation last fall, has done nothing in the way of actual implementation of this. It didn't say, hey, Zinni, you know this, you wrote the book, we'll hire you. Boom. Okay, and here I am sitting out here running my company. The city only wants to do political stuff to make themselves look good. And Rebecca, I'm talking to you. What are you going to do on the way out? Are you running for re-election or not? Where are you going to hang your hat? These are the questions that have to be asked because they're part of the overall problem that AASEG is going to face if they go along with what will certainly be a Faustian bargain if the city of Oakland does not come through with its role. Because Ray has not said to this point, hey, you know what? We need the city to provide X amount of dollars in subsidy for us. It's not that Ray doesn't know it's needed. I know doggone well he knows it's needed. He hasn't raised the issue yet. But any person in Ray Bobbitt and AASEG's position would immediately pressure the city to say, okay, what do you want to do? We're doing our part. We need to see your part. The ENA that was structured for the AASEG has a number of landmines in it that call for another show. I've got a mock draft coming up in about 4 minutes. I've got to jump, and I'll get to it. But my point is this. The city needs to determine what it wants to do. It can't just sit out there like it always does and watch the organization and say, hey, you know what? We're kind of watching what happens. The city needs to help AASEG by finding that developer, by putting out a request for proposal. Before you put out that, you have to do the homework and the request for proposal to say, okay, here are the demographics. And then you have to do the homework of actually establishing the public financing authority and the enhanced infrastructure financing district. These are all operations that must be done by the city of Oakland. Toot sweet. Hurry up and get it done, okay? Hurry up and get it done. Because otherwise, this part of the deal will definitely become a reality, and that little devil with the pitchfork is going to be poking Ray in the ass. And the question is, does Ray have his own pitchfork to poke the city of Oakland in the ass and tell him to get with it and get going? I doubt it. I'm happy to be wrong. I'll see you. Subscribe to Zinni62 and bookmark ZenniReport.com. We'll see you.